All right, Algebra 1. This is our second quarterfinal review. This is covering lessons, potentially, the range here, and I'm not saying it's a specific range, but it's going to cover starting from lesson 1. Obviously, everything starts from lesson 1. It doesn't always include lesson 1, but it's going to go up to lesson 45. Obviously, we've covered 50 lessons, but that's because in lesson 50, you're still getting questions from lesson 45 and that type of thing. All right, so we're going to cover these in order, but I'm going to change numbers, I'm going to change letters, I'm going to change variables. So it's not going to be exactly like what you're going to see on the test, but it's going to be a similar question type because I've given out reviews and reviews and reviews, and what always comes back to me sometimes is that, yeah, I studied the review, but it didn't really help me for the test. There should be no excuse for that, doing this, because I'm looking at the test, right? I'm seeing what's there. This is similar format, or exact format, different values. So for this first question, we want a solution, okay? So, I'm going to forewarn you that when you type in your answer, it needs to have the variable that we're trying to solve equals a value. Does that make sense? When really, especially starting next semester, you're going to start to lose points if you don't include the variable that we're solving for. So if you just plug in a number, right, although that may be correct, it's really not the right way to show it because we're asking, hey, what does B equal? I want to know B equals this. Does that make sense? We're clear about that? All right, so we're going to go ahead and start that practice here. So let's say we want to solve, or we want to enter the solution for something like B minus 32 equals 16. Okay, B minus 32 equals 16. What do I want to do here? Add 32 to both sides. Okay, add 32 to both sides. So what does B equal? 48. Okay, let's go ahead and switch this up a little bit. Let's say C plus 16 equaled negative 32. What do I do here? Subtract 16 from both sides. This is called the subtraction property of equality. So I'm getting C equals what? Negative 48. Good. All right. Do you understand both of those questions? Okay. So this is what I would type in this question on the test. C equals negative 48. Okay. And I'm just telling you, I know how Ms. Dodson's putting these together, and you don't need to put in spaces between C and equal and the negative and 48. Okay. You can put it in one line, no spaces. We got that? Okay. Now we don't need to be looking at this computer screen over here. If we're doing that, right, we need to be looking up here. All right. I don't know what you can see from that distance anyway, but I don't want to see what does the test look like. Okay. I want to make sure that we're not trying to get stuff that we shouldn't get. Okay. I'm giving you plenty. All right. Let's look at the second question. This is similar in nature. Okay. We still want a solution here, and we still have a variable. Let's pick out a variable. What kind of variables do we like? X. X work for you guys. So let's say we had X divided by, let's get a negative number. Give me a negative number. 3. X divided by negative 3 equals, let's say negative 9. Okay? What do I do to solve for X here? Multiply by negative 3 on both sides. Okay, so X equals what? What do I get whenever I take a negative and I multiply by a negative? I get a positive. What then do I get with 9 times 3? So I get a positive 27. Okay, we understand that? All right. I don't know that we necessarily need to do a different one there. We can try. Let's go ahead and try something else, though. Let's say we had let's say we had negative 3y equals equals negative 9. What do I do there to solve for y? Divide by negative 3. Divide by negative 3 on both sides. What happens whenever I divide a negative by a negative? Turns into a positive. What's negative 9 divided by negative 3? 3. All right, so we're prepared to multiply across and divide across, right? Okay. Feel pretty comfortable there. Let's look at another one. All right. Here's another solution question. Let's try 68 equals 36 minus 4, let's say 4D. Okay? Somebody else I haven't heard from. I've heard a lot from Tiffany. I kind of want to back off Tiffany and Jeremy. All right? Let's hear from somebody else. Okay, Abby? Subtract 36 on both sides. Good. So we're doing inverse operations. All right. What's 68 minus 36? 32. Okay. 32 equals what? Negative 4D. Good. All right. Now what do I do? Somebody who's not Abby. Jordan. Divide by negative 4 on both sides. Don't drop the negative. Okay. I've got to carry that through. Otherwise, if I just divide by 4, I'll still have a negative D. Okay. And I don't want negative D. I want just D. So what's 32 divided by negative 4? What kind of answer am I going to get? Is it going to be positive or negative this time? Negative. So we already know it's going to be negative. What's 32 divided by 4? Blatant. What is it? Negative 8 equals D. But how am I going to write this into the answer key? Am I going to write negative 8 equals D? D equals negative 8. Okay, I want my variable on the left-hand side of the equal sign. Does that make sense? All right, are we good with this? Everything seemed pretty easy so far? We're good. Now, does that mean I'm going to get these right? What will prevent me from getting these right? Making little mistakes and not showing my work, losing negatives, right? Just dividing by the positive instead of by the negative, right? Not carrying things through, being sloppy in my work, rushing, trying to be quick, not in all of these questions that we've covered so far. Is it possible to plug in negative 8 here, right, and get 36 minus 4 times negative 8 and see that it equals 68? Is it possible on all the questions we've done to plug my answer back in and check my work? Yes. Should I? Yes. Why? Because it's quarterfinal, right? It's not. This is not by any means a competition to see who can finish the test the fastest. Okay? We're not doing speed runs here. All right? We're not doing that. What we're interested in, what you ought to be interested in, is how many can I get right? So we're not trying to be fast. We're trying to be accurate. Okay? All right, number 4. Okay? Let's see. Let's try this. Let's try 86A plus 20 minus 52A equals 54. We want to solve for A. So I want to end up with an A equals. Combine like terms. Which terms are like terms? 86A and what? Negative 52. Okay. What's 86 and negative 52? 34A. Okay. 34A plus 20 equals 54. Okay, what do you say, Jeremy? Subtract 20 on both sides. Okay. All right, so I got 34A equals what? 34. Okay. But I'm going to go ahead and show the work, right? So what am I going to do to show the work? Divide by 34 on both sides. So A equals 1. Okay, so we need to know how to combine like terms. Combining like terms may mean subtraction. It could mean addition. Okay? And so we've got subtraction property of equality working. We've got the division property of equality working. So this is the work I'm going to show. I'm not just going to get A equals 1. Okay? All right, let's keep going. There are 20 questions on this test. All right, so I'll feel really good if I can get through 10 of these. Let's see, we're at number 5. Okay, let's try. We got 6 times negative 18. Let's see, negative 18 minus 16x minus 8x plus 16. Oh, sorry, plus 16. Six x minus 8 equals 2. More complicated, right? Okay. Order of operations. What do I do first? Okay, I heard somebody say distribute. What's that? Parentheses, then exponents. All right, you're right. With the parentheses portion, I think I heard somebody say grouping symbols. All right, what can I do? Can I do anything inside the grouping symbols? Abby? Combine like terms. Okay. Can I combine like terms over here on the right side set of parentheses? No. Can I combine like terms over here on the left-hand side of the parentheses? What two like terms can be combined? Negative 16x and negative 8x. Okay. So what is negative 16x and negative 8x? Negative 24x. Now, this is a type of question where although you might know what to do, you're still going to be mistake prone, okay? Because there's a lot of steps, even though they're not difficult steps. And so my suggestion here is that you do bring everything down. Don't try to do multiple steps at a time. Try to do one thing at a time and rewrite the question, okay? So I'm going to bring everything down. But bringing everything down imbues a certain amount of risk, okay? Because I've seen students do this, I've seen you guys do this, where when you bring everything down, something gets lost, right? Let's say that was a negative 16, right? When you bring it down, somebody will make it a positive 16. Now, fortunately, it's positive, and I brought down a positive. But you know, this negative 24x, you may forget that that's a negative 24 and put it in as addition, all right? Or somebody might take negative 18 and, you know, you forget the x. I've seen people forget the variable, and so now they look in here like, oh, I can combine those terms. Well, no, I shouldn't, but because you forgot to bring down the x with your negative 24, it looks like that you can. So you have to be really careful. This has nothing to do with being able to do math. It has everything to be being careful, okay, and making sure that you're doing everything accurately. Double checking, did I bring everything down? Because I can't tell you the number of times where we've sat down and done corrections and somebody said, I don't know what I did wrong here. I did the exact same thing and I got the exact same answer. And we walked through it step by step by step and we said, oh, you didn't do this. I'm like, you know, brain fart. Yeah, that's right. All right, so what do I do next? Distribute. What am I distributing first? 6 to negative 18. Okay, what's 6 times negative 18? Negative 108. Okay. All right, now what? Okay, distribute 6 to negative 24x. What is that? Negative 144x. Okay, again, don't forget the variable, don't forget the negative. Okay, what's next? Somebody else. I'm sorry, me, you're doing great, but I want to get other people involved. Christian, what would you do next? Distribute this 16 to 6x. Okay, what do you get? Plus 96x, and right now I'm taking your guys' word for it, not looking at a calculator. What do you do after that? Distribute 16 to negative 8. What's 16 times negative 8? Negative 128. Okay, equals what? Equals 2. All right, somebody else. Reagan, help me out here. What are you're looking at this. You brought everything down. I got all my negatives, all my positives in the right spot. I got my variables where I need to have variables. What's the next thing? Okay, combine like terms. So you're saying combine your constants. So you see a negative 108 and a negative 128. You want to combine those things. All right, what do you get whenever you do that? You can borrow one if you need to. Negative 236. Okay, negative 236. So that combines my negative 108, my negative 128. Okay, are there any other like terms I can combine? Caden, what else could I combine? Negative what? Okay, what do you get with negative 144 and 96? Negative 48x, okay, and that equals 2. Okay, somebody else? Okay, Abby? Add 236 to both sides. Okay, sounds great. 236 over there. So let me scroll down here a little bit, buy myself some space. Okay, so I'm doing that. What do I rewrite down here? Negative 48x equals 238. Okay, looks good so far. Okay, Abby, go ahead. Divide by negative 48 on both sides. Sounds good. Get x equals, what's 238 divided by negative 48? And again, I made up those numbers, so I don't know if it comes out to a nice, neat thing or not. Negative 4.9958. Okay. Let me look at this question, see if your actual test question's going to come out to. Yeah, in the actual test, it's going to come out to a nice, neat, number, or should. So if we've done everything right here, hopefully we have. I don't want to double check. And I haven't checked any of your work. I'm just going based purely on what you've said. I kind of want to double check a few things here and make sure all our addition, 6 times negative 18 is negative 108. Let's see, 6 times negative 24 was negative 144. 16 times 6 was 96. 16 times negative 8 was negative 128. Okay, negative 144 plus 96 was negative 48. Good. Negative 108 minus 128 was negative 236. Okay. So yeah, all of your math there seems to be accurate. So, okay. Let's go on to number 6. All right, this should be a question that you've seen before, okay? If we see something like x equals AB, okay, and it says solve for A, okay? How do I solve for A? Divide by what? Divide by B on both sides. Okay, so what does A equal? X divided by B. Okay, what if it said solve for B? divide by A. All right, so B would equal what? X over A. Okay? So you guys are prepared to solve a question like that. And I'll just tell you that, like, for this division, so your answer here would look like A equals X B, like this, okay? So you're just going to use the slash symbol for your division. Okay? Let's look at number 7. Let's say 2, and we'll change this to 6. 6z minus, let's say 3z plus 18 plus 9 equals 96. Okay, solve for z. This one requires a little bit more thought. It's kind of tricky. Caden? Very good. Absolutely. You distribute the negative to everything inside the parentheses because that is multiplication. It's -1 times everything inside the set of parentheses, correct? All right. So -1 times 3z, -1 times 18. So when I go to rewrite this question, what am I writing? Hold on. I want to rewrite the whole question. 6z minus 3z. Could I just write minus 18? Okay. Equals 96. Okay. Now what? Okay, combine like terms. Okay, 6z minus 3z is 3z. Okay, -18 plus 9. -9, good. -9 equals 96. Okay, from here, I mean, it should just kind of roll, right? Add 9 to both sides. Great. All right, so I got 3z equals 105. 105. Okay. Now what? Divide by 3 on both sides. What's 105 divided by 3? What is it? 35. Okay. All right, is that doable? I'm telling you that what you see there in red is going to be what gets forgot. Okay, I've seen people, they'll distribute the -1 to the 3. The biggest mistake people make in distributing is failing to do what? Distribute the negative to the second term or the third term or however many terms there are in that parentheses. Distribution has to happen to every term in the set. Okay? Are you guys giving up on me? 1 minute. Okay. What about 14q minus 10p equals 1? And we want to solve for q. Okay, so we're solving for q, right? So you say add 10p to both sides. Okay? All right, so I'm going to rewrite the question. What do I get? No. 14q equals what? No, because this is not a p, I can't combine that term. 10p plus 1, now what? Divide by on both sides. Okay, so I get q equals 10/14 will reduce, right, to 5/7. So 5/7 p plus 1/14. Okay, that's what we're looking for. All right. So not quite half, but pretty good start, right? See ya.